Shawn, just because there's a table right here and they can't see does not mean you can touch me.
My apologies completely.
Welcome to episode 32.5 of What's the Buzz, the podcast that keeps you informed and entertained on all things pest control. I'm Jordan.
I'm Shawn.
And together we're here to buzz through the world of pests, big and small. From the latest in pest management techniques to the fascinating facts about the critters we all love to hate, we've got the insights you need. It's another week, and we are here once again to share our expert advice, real-life stories, and practical tips to help you keep your home pest-free. So sit back, relax, and get ready to discover what's really buzzing in the world.
That's good. 32.5 episode, right?
We'll call it 0.5, yeah.
So we will apologize for the last episode being a little low quality on the audio.
Right.
We got it figured out, and we're ready to rock and roll now.
We sure hope so.
We have also had a couple week hiatus because we've been so swamped. So
you mean spring brings spring pests?
That's kind of a weird concept, I know, but yeah,
we're here.
We're here in our beautiful podcast recording studio in Joplin. Recording studio in Joplin.
Yeah, I'm going to start using that. Recording.
Yeah,
I like it.
What have you been doing in Joplin today?
What have I been doing? Well, I've been working hard while you sit in the corner. We had
the complete opposite of what's happened today.
We've had several things going on today. You want to enlighten everyone on what?
Well, we had a bid proposal meeting that was pretty big.
Yeah.
We did a termite inspection for some termite swarmers today.
Yeah.
At a large facility.
Yeah.
We had some lunch at Blackstone Gastropub. Shout out Blackstone. I had the meat sweats pasta.
And I had the BLT.
Mine was lovely.
Mine was too.
And we came here to our little location here in Joplin and got about an hour's worth of computer work done. Now we're rocking and rolling with the podcast.
That's right. Tight deadlines.
Shawn,
I just wanted to ask you a question, if you don't mind.
Go ahead. I'm open for questioning.
What do you call two spiders that just got married?
Ooh, what do you call them, suckers?
They're newlyweds.
Newlyweds? So they got caught in the web because they're newlyweds. Well, yesterday, it reminds me, my bedside lamp turned into a butterfly.
What?
Yeah.
Your bedside lamp?
It turned into a butterfly. I guess that's what I get for buying a larva lamp.
That's pretty good. That is pretty good.
Our main topic today is just going to be some questions on springtime pests, and we're going to answer those right here, live, on episode 32.5.
32.5. So we're getting a lot of calls, a lot of different spring pests coming out right now. So we've compiled a list. Why don't we start with the number one reason that people call Bug Zero?
What is the number one reason people call Bug Zero or call a pest control company in the first place?
Are there other pest control companies?
There are.
Oh.
But, that's apples to oranges.
Okay.
Ants.
Ants is the number one reason.
Ants.
So, Shawn.
That's crazy.
Why do ants keep coming back even after we do a treatment?
Ooh, why do they keep coming back even after doing a treatment?
Yep.
Because it takes a little bit while for our products to work.
Right.
We don't want to kill all the ants we see outside. Otherwise, that colony is just going to send out more workers. Mm-hmm. What we want to do is that we want a slow-acting effect because they feed the rest of the colony by trophallaxis, which is regurgitating it to the rest of the colony.
Baby birding.
Baby birding. Okay. So that is why even after we come out for a treatment, you're going to still see some ant activity. We want to give that product time to work. We don't want a fast-acting product to kill the workers before they have a chance to take it back and share it with the rest of the colony.
Right. So, excellent.
All right, another question came in. What's the difference between sugar ants and carpenter ants? Sugar ant really is an odorous house ant, so odorous house ant, sugar ant versus carpenter ant. What's the difference?
Okay. Well, odorous house ants are small, very small compared to carpenter ants.
Absolutely.
Odorous house ants are after a lot of your sugary sweet substances.
They love sweets.
Inside of your kitchen, possibly in your bathroom areas as well. Carpenter ants, generally where you'll find them is old wood that they're excavating their nests out of. So generally what you'll see most generally.
Most generally,
you'll see carpenter ants start on the outside, but there are occasions where they come in and they may hit like your door frames, your window frames, um, areas like that. Crawl space possibly, but they're not actually feeding on the wood. They're just excavating it for their nest. So
there you go.
anything to add to that?
No, a lot of times too, you'll see them kind of foraging or trailing up and down some trees on your property.
Right.
Nest might be in a hollowed out tree or decaying wood, that kind of thing.
Like the carpenter ant, I watch you climb trees occasionally.
For food.
For food.
Next question.
Yeah, so how can you tell the difference between carpenter ants and termites in your home?
Okay, well, there's several ways. If you're talking about termite swarmers, telling the difference between ant and termite swarmers, termite swarmers still have the straight body. They have the straight antenna, and they have equal sized wings. Ant swarmers are going to have different sized wings. They're going to have the segmented body still. They're going to have pointed antenna. And also, if you just see a pile of wings laying on the ground, it's more than likely going to be termites.
Because they shed those, right?
Shed those wings when they land. As far as the wood members of your house or your deck or fence post, if you see a wood pile or wood shavings in the floor, some wood dust, it's more than likely going to be carpenter ants because they excavate the wood. They don't eat it. Subterranean termites actually eat the wood, so they're not going to leave behind that evidence as much as the carpenter ants do.
Hey, Shawn, how do termites feed other termites?
Trophallaxis.
Or
regurgitation.
Or baby birding. Moving on.
Scientific term is now baby birding.
Yes.
You need to change that in all the textbooks.
Yeah, the Webster Dictionary.
Yes.
We'll start there.
Last ant question came in.
Okay.
Will ant bank bring more ants into my home?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a great question. That's actually Fred from Portland. He's sending in some good ones.
Portland. Okay. Well, Fred, no. Maybe possibly temporarily. You'll see an increase of activity because ants communicate through pheromones. So if they find a food source and it's readily available, you might see them kind of come out of the woodworks. But the short answer, I would say, is no.
I'll add that if you have a bait system set up to trap those workers in there and not take the bait back to the colony and baby bird it, you'll see more continuously coming in the house trying to get to that bait because they're sending out more workers.
Yeah.
So, moving on.
The number 2 reason why people call pest control company.
Weevils.
Yeah, granary weevils.
Granary weevils.
Yeah, no, Shawn, it's spiders.
Oh.
Spiders.
Spiders.
So, Shawn, why are there so many spiders in basements?
Basements are typically cooler.
Are they?
A little bit cooler. A little bit darker most of the time.
Yeah. Maybe possibly a little less disturbed.
Less disturbed. That's how really brown recluse, you kind of get their name from. They're reclusive.
By nature. Yeah.
They don't like being around
Wow.
other, humans or pets or anywhere they're going to get disturbed. They're kind of like a recluse.
You are just full of insights today.
So, lots of reasons like that for the basement.
Yep.
Also, basements are below grade. And so a lot of times when pests come into the home, they'll come in right there at the seal plate, or they'll, nest in between the siding, exterior wall voids, and kind of make their way in that way too. And it's a little bit easier access for the basement.
Maybe more of a food source there too. Might draw them there.
All right. Do spider treatments also get rid of webs?
Well, that sounds like a loaded question a little bit.
I locked and loaded it for you.
Okay. Well, here we go. The short answer is, will the product take care of the webs? Probably not, unless you have a product called Web Out, which we don't use.
It doesn't dissolve it, the web, right?
Web Out does. But our products that we use do not. However, if you're on a pest control maintenance plan, more than likely those webs will be removed when we're doing those services anyways.
Yeah.
So, short answer, no.
Products won't take care of the web.
Right.
But we'll take care of the web.
Right. All right, Shawn.
Okay.
What would you say the biggest differences are between brown recluse and wolf spiders?
Behavior is one difference, and also the a lot of people get these mixed up. They also get wolf spiders mixed up with tarantulas.
Yeah.
There's many different species of wolf spiders.
Right.
Many different variations of how they look. Wolf spiders are typically a little bit more aggressive. Brown recluse aren't typically aggressive. Uh, you know, most brown recluse bites happen on accident. Especially if somebody has a closet, maybe you store your jackets in for the winter time, and you grab a jacket out. First time it's cold and you need one.
Yep.
And just sling your arms in there. A lot of people roll over on them in the sleep and they'll bite. So, one great way to tell the difference is the darker violin shape on the thorax.
Cephalothorax.
Cephalothorax. CEPH.
Allothorax.
Cool. All right, move on to the next pest, or you want more spider questions?
Nah.
Okay. Okay. Oh, this is big right now. Subterranean termites. So
we talked about ants, I guess. Now we're going to talk about the eastern subterranean termite.
Yeah, the eastern subterranean termite,
Okay.
specifically.
All right.
How do I check for termites without tearing up my house?
That's a good question, Shawn. Thank you for asking.
It's not my question. These are customer questions that have built up over a few weeks.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Reginald from Rolla. How do you do it without tearing up your house? So I'd say if your first step would be if you have a crawl space, start with a crawl space inspection.
Absolutely.
So as Shawn alluded to earlier, termites do eat the cellulose inside of wood. So with that, they have to digest that wood, and then they let that come out the other end, their fecal matter. They use that to build their protection around them or their homes, also known as shelter tubes or termite tubing.
Or mud tubes.
Or mud tubes.
Or tubes.
Or tubes, I guess. So with that, what you'll find in your crawl space along your sill plate or even coming up from the ground itself are those mud tubes. And that's what we're looking for in the very beginning. They'll do inside, if you have a basement home, they might pop through that. They might pop through the drywall because there's a lot of cellulose in drywall as well. So if you have bugs crawling out of your
And they're
wall,
blind foragers.
They are.
So they don't know there's nothing on the other side.
Exactly. Yeah. So they kind of spider web. You'll see that tunneling back behind the drywall itself. So without tearing your house apart, that's where I would start.
I would probably put a picture of some termite tubing right here.
Oh, cool.
Perfect.
Awesome. Hey, Shawn.
What
does termite damage look like?
This also might be a little bit easier if I just put a picture right here.
Neat.
Then that's how you know you have some termite damage.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, a lot of people mistake wood rot, moisture decay, things like that for tubing, but it sure doesn't look like that.
So a lot of people will mistake carpenter ant galleries or
right,
wood boring beetles or even carpenter bees for termite damage.
Mm-hmm.
So
cool.
What is the difference between a termite inspection and a termite treatment?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
So
that's the only kind of questions we get submitted to us. They're really good questions.
Yeah. We always start with an inspection for termites. And basically in that inspection process, we're kind of coming up with the best game plan to make sure that your home or business is going to get the best treatment possible. So that first service, we always come out, diagram your home or business, and we prep that service agreement. And then treatment itself, there's a variety of different things that we may do. But a lot of it depends on, do we have to treat below the slab? Do we have to trench the exterior of whatever, possibly around support piers, So that first one is really us getting a game plan together and getting you that price the second time we're applying the product and so on.
Perfect.
So
good explanation.
Thank you.
Good explanation.
All right, Shawn.
Okay.
I've been outside lately. I've been seeing those bees those hornets,
Ooh.
those waspices.
Those waspices.
Is it legal to kill honeybees?
I always refer that out to our local honeybee experts.
Yeah.
There's clubs in every city, honeybee clubs. And that's my advice.
The question, is it legal? I will say at Bug Zero, like he said, we call those beekeepers anytime, especially we get a lot of calls right now into the summertime about those honeybee swarms. So legal, probably shouldn't be. We're not going to do it. We're going to call professionals.
Correct.
We love our pollinators.
That's a correct answer for that question.
Okay. Even though it was your question, I answered it.
Well,
generally,
I was trying to.
I pull all the weight, But that's okay.
That's the only way you pull the day.
How about I ask you another one?
That's fine.
What should I do if I'm allergic and I see a nest?
Stay away. That's
keep
your distance. Don't disturb the nest. There's lots of TikTok videos been going last year, especially went around of these gasoline hacks and just don't disturb it. Don't get close to it. You should, if you know you're allergic, you should probably already have an EpiPen on you. In the case that you do, but if you see a nest and you're allergic, unless you got a bee suit, call us here at Bug Zero and we'll take care of it.
Yeah, maybe you should leave it be.
All right. If there's a nest on my porch, can you remove it?
As part of Insectishield and a lot of our services that we offer, we do remove those nests. And there's something we should talk about here. If you ever have us out and we treat the nest directly, but we leave it in place, it's for good reason. So the product that we use most of the time for those wasps, and I guess hornets themselves, more so with wasps, is generally going to be a non-repellent product. So when we treat that, we want the wasp to come back to that, land on the nest itself again, and then die off shortly thereafter. So generally what we'll do is that second time we come back, we'll remove that nest at that point once it's inactive, nothing else coming back.
Absolutely.
But also we may utilize a quick knockdown too, just depending on the situation. If you've got a ground nest for yellow jackets, that can be pretty fun. So
also a lot safer and more efficient to do those at certain times of the day.
Sure. So early in the morning, best time.
Night, red light.
Possibly at night. Yeah. Shawn goes out with his spy goggles and night vision cameras and his shorts and his tool belt with all of his goodies on and his flip flops and his jorts.
Jorts. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Let's real quick touch on the fly and gnat questions.
Okay.
Where are all these little flies coming from?
That's a great question. Well, Shawn, and I say to you, which little flies? Where are you seeing them?
That's a not part of his question, but you can elaborate on your own.
Yeah. So small flies in general are they vary quite a bit from each individual small fly that we deal with. Where fruit flies, if you're seeing them inside, we're going to look in certain areas, versus forward flies, we're going to look somewhere else, versus maybe fungal gnats somewhere else. So 9 times out of 10, their favorite habitat places is where we're going to start, and generally we'll find the breeding source from there.
And most people will refer to everything as a gnat. All small flies, it's a gnat. And so that's why we ask those questions. Send pictures in so we can get that proper identification. Obviously, if they're fungal gnats, we're going to ask you if you got potted plants inside your house, because most of the time they come from overwatered potted plants. If it's a drain fly or even possible fungal gnats in the drains. But all the small flies have different favorite breeding locations.
Right. Well, Shawn, how do you treat for fruit flies?
You remove the trash, the fruit,
decaying organic matter.
Yeah. Okay. The fruit.
Fruit.
The fruit.
I also want to tell everyone today, I witnessed Shawn do the strangest thing on the way down. So we left Springfield at about 7:30. We hit about Mount Vernon, and Shawn turns to me and he asks, "Will you please grab the banana out of my back seat?"
I don't know if that's a weird question.
No, listen. He proceeds to eat the banana, and then he just has a banana peel in the car. And I'm like, what are you going to do with a banana peel? If you would have ate it somewhere with a trash can, it would have been fine.
I had a trash bag.
That's fine. There's still banana peel.
No, there's not.
There was.
It's in the trash dumpster.
For at least 30 minutes, there was a banana peel. And now he's going to have fruit flies in his string.
This guy. Anyway, we're moving on here. You want to...
Let's hit one more section.
Okay, which one?
The occasional invaders.
Oh, okay, like crickets?
Like crickets, yeah.
Centipedes?
Yep.
Earwigs?
Yep.
Okay.
You ready?
Are house centipedes dangerous?
No. Moving on. What do silverfish eat?
Ooh, they love fabric, insulation, that kind of thing.
They sure do.
Mm-hmm.
Why are there crickets in my basement?
Probably have an exclusion issue or moisture issue somewhere around the exterior of your home. Do earwigs really crawl in your ears?
Yes.
Okay.
No. I don't really know where the name came from. I think maybe we've talked about it.
Those have the
before.
pincers.
Yeah.
Pincers.
Yeah, they're
on the rear end.
On the
butt.
rear end.
Yeah.
On their butts.
Pincers on the butt.
Yes.
Let's hit our 5-star review today. We got a couple we can read off here. From Maryland a day ago. Fantastic job. Technician spent multiple hours on full extermination and explanation. So happy with this service. Worth every penny. Thank you, Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland. That's great.
And then 3 days ago, we had another 5-star review from Donald Babb. Boston, our technician was very efficient and friendly. He explained his process, outlined the service, and explained what to do if we need a follow-up after this visit. Very pleased with our initial visit and the services provided. Highly recommend Bug Zero.
And Boston.
Thank you, Don.
Yeah, thank you, Boston, for being a superstar.
So, perfect. Well, that's about all we have for today.
Yep.
We'll be bringing the heat regularly during busy season.
That's right. So. Sorry for the little hiatus. But
well, it seemed longer than normal because we had the audio hiccup, and so we took down 32. This is why this is 32.5. So
now the next time we put one up, it's going to be kind of strange looking as far as the numbers go, and your OCD is probably going to freak out just a tad.
I might have OCD, but
you do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for following us. Share this podcast with your friends and your family and your colleagues and your coworkers and your aunts and uncles. And
yeah, it's almost Christmas. Start prepping.
Start prepping for the holidays. But yeah, you can find us anywhere you stream your podcast. So
yeah, basically everywhere.
Basically, literally anywhere.
All right.
But until next time on What's the Buzz podcast with Bug Zero, I'm Shawn.
And I'm Jordan.
And we'll catch you guys later.
Creepy crawlers invading your home? Bug Zero. Spiders, ants, and flies? Oh my. Bug Zero. Bed bugs and mosquitoes leave you itchy for help? Bug Zero. Whether it's bugs in your home or bugs eating your home, Bug Zero has you protected. With both residential and commercial services, Bug Zero's comprehensive pest protection takes you from infestation to extermination.